Hello, scholars. Today we are going to continue our study on word problems, more specifically, multi step word problems. The strategy that we have been using is a cube strategy. In the cube strategy, the C stands for circle key numbers and units. What do I know? The U stands for underline the question. What am I being asked to solve? The B stands for box math action words. So, am I going to add, subtract, multiply, or divide? The E stands for evaluate and eliminate. So, what steps do I need to take? What information is not important? Finally, your S stands for show your work and check. When you're done solving problems, you always want to make sure that you check behind yourself and make sure that your answer makes sense. Is it reasonable? The four operations that we have are addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. We are now going to go through each of those operations and look at some keywords that we can use when identifying the proper operation to solve problems. Keep in mind, this is just a list. It is not limited to these words. The first one is addition. The keywords for addition are the action words for addition are sum, plus, add, and, total, altogether, more than, increase by, more, raise, combine, in all, additional, both, together, added to. The next one is subtraction. Difference, decreased, less than, left, less, remaining, away, dropped, fell, how much less, diminished, least, subtract from, nearer, lost, and change. Next, we have multiplication. We have volume, product, times, doubled, as much, tripled, per, by, and a piece. Finally, we have division. Quotient, divided, split, cut, equal groups, average, out of, how many times, shared equally, part, per, every, evenly, shared, and equal piece. Remember, the list that we just went through for each of these operations, it is not limited to the words or action words that are on these lists. There can be some other words, but this is a great start for trying to identify the operation. Let's practice. All right, so we are going to practice a multi-step word problem. Please keep in mind your method, your cubes method. That's what we should be familiar with. If cubes is not the method that you want to use, just make sure that you use some type of method where you are identifying important information and evaluating your word problem in your work. So C stands for circle the key numbers. U stands for underline the question. B stands for box action words. E stands for evaluate and eliminate. And so you're evaluating what's important and eliminating what is not important. And of course, S stands for solve. So let's look at our first word problem. It says Avery bought 5 packs of pencils. There were 8 pencils in each pack. If Avery gave 9 pencils to her friends, how many pencils does Avery have left? Okay. So when I'm looking at a word problem, I always like to read it twice just to make sure that I have a good understanding of what the problem is asking me and just to make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay. So let's read this once more. Avery bought 5 packs of pencils. There were 8 pencils in each pack. If Avery gave 9 pencils to her friends, how many pencils does Avery have left? So let's look at our first step in the cubes method. The first step says that you want to circle key numbers, okay? So we have 3 numbers within this problem, okay? We don't know if they're key numbers yet, but we're just going to go ahead and circle them because I think they're numbers that we need to use in order to solve our problem. So we have 5 packs of pencils. 8 pencils were in each pack, and 9 pencils were given to her friend. Okay. I went ahead and circled some words along with 5 and along with 9. You don't have to. You can just simply circle 8, 5, and 9, however you feel comfortable. The next thing says underline the question. So our question is usually going to be towards the end of it, and it's asking how many pencils does Avery have left? This is what's important. That is what the question is asking us. So once we come up with a plan, our solution is going to answer this question. Next, it says box action words. So I want to go back and look at my word problem very closely. I'm going to box in any action words. And when it says action words lets you know what am I going to be doing with these numbers that I have identified as important numbers, okay? So I think that each is important. I think that the phrase how many is important. I also think that the phrase left is important. And another thing I would probably look at is this gave piece right here. That's going to let me know that I need to do something with some of my numbers. Okay. Now we want to evaluate and eliminate any information that we feel may not be important. Okay. So Avery bought 5 packs of pencils. There were 8 pencils in each pack. If Avery gave 9 pencils to her friends, how many pencils does Avery have left? Okay. So we're not so much concerned about her friends. We do know that she gave those pencils to her friends. That is important, but it's not important who she gave them to. Okay. So let's take a look at this problem. I want you to pause the video and try to solve this problem, and then unpause it and we will solve this problem together. Okay, welcome back. Now, just looking at what I have underlined, or rather, our circle that's important, I have 5 packs of pencils. 8 pencils, right, were in each pack. This is going to let me know the operation I need to use in order to work with these two numbers. Then it says I gave 9 pencils away. So these words are going to let you know, and left is going to let you know what operation you need to use. So we know our 4 operations are addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. All right. So the first 2 things that we need to look at before we can even answer our question, we need to know how many pencils she had first before we can even understand how many she had left when she gave some to her friends. 5 packs of pencils. Each of the packs had 8 pencils in it, okay? So you can use an image. You can use a drawing. So I'm going to draw my 5 packs. We're going to use circles in order to represent the packs, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And each of these packs had 8 pencils, okay? So I'm going to put 8 pencils. And of course, the dots are going to represent the pencils. I'm going to put 8 pencils in each of my 5 packs. Okay. After I have done that, I'm going to go back and verify that I only have 8 in each pack. And then I'm going to count them up. An easier way to do this is to select the operation of multiplication. Instead of doing equal groups, I can also simply multiply 5 times 8. And what is 5 times 8? 5 times 8 is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. It is 40. And I'm sure you know that off the top of your head because you're still using your multiplication practice strategies. So you should know that off the top of your head. So Avery had 40 pencils. She then gave 9 pencils away. We want to know how many she had left. Away lets us know we need to use subtraction. Left also lets us know we need to use subtraction. So we have 40 pencils and she gave 9 of those pencils away. Okay. So again, she had 40 pencils and she gave 9 of those pencils away. Okay. So how many pencils did Avery have left if she started with 40 and she gave 9 of them away? Avery now has 31 pencils. Okay. Now, Let's go ahead and just show how we found that answer. If I am trying to subtract this 9 from 0, I can't do that. I don't have enough here to subtract. So I need to go over here and I need to do a little regrouping. This 4 is going to become a 3. So instead of 40, it'll be 30. This represents 30. You're going to regroup and bring a whole 10 over here. And of course, 10 minus 9 is 1. And we bring the 3 straight down. 31 is our answer. Hope this video was helpful.